part of the service is called a Martyrology. Some of you may remember from years past that rather than read the passages in the Machzor, we've invited people from our community to share about their family experiences of persecution. Some people, many as you can imagine, have shared their family experiences from the Shoah. A few years ago, Gabi Sulik shared about his family's experiences when the JCC in Buenos Aires was destroyed in a bombing in 1995. Today we have an honor because today is the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Eric was here that morning and got permission from Rabbi Berger to go out into the parking lot and listen to the radio and get news about what was happening. It was a time when we really feared to lose the state. And even though the state of Israel was saved, there were many lives lost and many whose lives were changed forever. Kobi was there. I want to read to you a sentence from his book. After being a prisoner of war, he writes, "Chalamti al biniyat mishpacha." I dreamed about building a family, isha chama v'yiladim, a caring wife and children. Az kamuvan lo yadati ma ze omer. As young, I didn't know what those things really meant. Ra'iti et atzmi osek b'mechkar. I saw myself, though, engrossing myself in research and in teaching, even without knowing what exactly those things are. And he came out of the war, he said, "Hachavaya shel hamilchama v'hashevi," the experience of war and being in prison, "Heviu oti le'emunah b'hashgacha elionah," brought me to a belief in a higher power. "V'anichai zot b'tzura ma'od chazaka mi'az," and I live in that way ever since. Kobi, that you find a spiritual home here at Bethel is for us a great kavod, a great honor, and we are grateful to you for sharing your story today.
Very much for inviting me. Go back now 50 years back. There's a time difference between Israel and the east coast of the United States. This was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Yom Kippur 50 years ago. I was on a tank, Parrot, I think it's called, and waiting actually for an air attack. We didn't know that there's going to be a war until 11 o'clock that morning. I was a Nachal soldier. Nachal is a special unit that was quite a large one in my days. It consisted mostly of graduates of Zionist, socialist youth movements that wanted to join kibbutzim mostly, and went into the military for a little bit more than 3 years. 3 years was what every male soldier was demanded of, what we were expected. But our military service was a mixture of training, service, but also commitment to kibbutz life. So in the middle of the service, we were supposed to spend a few months in the kibbutz. In fact, that period was supposed to start just after the war started. Of course, it never happened. I served for 2 years as an infantry soldier. I was in something called the Nachal Reconnaissance Unit. that company that served in the Jordan Valley. We spent our days searching the border, patrolling the border to see that there are no penetrations from the Jordanian side of terrorists of any kind. And at night, we spend the nights in ambushes waiting for such terrorists to come. After 2 years, I was supposed to become a paratrooper. All the Nahal soldiers were supposed to become paratroopers after serving for quite a while. But I decided I don't want to do that. I was not the only one. Just a year earlier, they gave an option to those soldiers who did not want to become paratroopers to become tank crew, to be members of tank crews, to join the armored forces. Particularly those who were afraid of parachuting, who had issues with I don't know what the exact term is, fear of heights and of jumping. And I belonged to a youth movement that was into hiking, and we would hike for days, not hours, but days. And I was a super hiker until it came to heights. We had to go down 10 meters, 30, 40 feet. That's where I stopped short, and my friends had to help me. And this was an issue. So everybody told me, you are not going to the paratroopers. So I went to the tanks instead, and this was considered to be a good choice. Except tanks in Israel are not what they are in the American military. I had students here who were members of ROTC and became officers, tank commanders, and they are special crews in America to clean and maintain the tanks. Israeli military doesn't have that. You're both a soldier and